Hello and welcome back to Taurus Does Tarot. I am doing some elemental updates, and this one is going to be for earth signs. Okay. Let's see what we got going on this week for earth signs. Got a jumper. Wait a minute. Where's the jumper? Not even going to get into it. Okay. Let's just see what's going on with earth signs. Alright, and we're going to do a pyramid. Earth signs and their money problems. Money may not be a problem so much anymore. Okay. Bottom of the deck. Ten of Wands, oppression. Okay. So, not the best start. It's funny because I just did fire signs and they had the Ten of Discs and now you have the Ten of Wands. Vice versa. Discs is earth, wands is fire. Just interesting, I thought. Okay, so let's start at the top. We have the Aeon, which is judgment, and the Four of Discs, which is power. Okay, so I feel like earth signs definitely have the reputation of being judgmental. I feel like usually when the Aeon comes up, we're not really talking about ourselves being judgmental as much as we're talking about like an outside sort of judgment cast upon us. But in this scenario, because we're talking about earth signs, it does make me wonder if this is more about being judgmental rather than being judged, okay? And another reason I say that is because we do have the Four of Discs here, which is power. And it's almost like you, not to say that you judging others gives you the satisfaction or the feeling of being in control, but you do almost feel like more secure when you are focused on other people's insecurities, which is very cliche and definitely not a good thing. I'm not pretending like it is. It's actually probably what's holding you back. Okay, this is what this oppression is, this Ten of Wands, right? So I think that's something to consider, right? So Four of Discs is like having those four things that make you feel like you're on top. Be friends, family, work, fun, money, drugs, bitches, liquor, whatever. Okay, the four things that you value the most. Now, is gossip and judgment one of them? You might have to address that within yourself, earth signs. And it's hard because I'm hearing this for myself as well. I am indeed an earth sign. That is why we are called Taurus Does Tarot. So that's a tough pill to swallow. That is indeed a tough pill to swallow. We have the Ace of Cups and the Four of Wands, completion. So the Ace of Cups is like a fresh perspective, feeling whole, feeling full, feeling like you just know what to think and feel and just like having a strong sense of self, okay? And then the Four of Wands, completion, could either be the ending of a cycle or, again, that wholeness, okay? And because it's paired with the Ace of Cups and because we were just coming down from this judgment thing, I do feel like maybe it's more of a completion within rather than without, okay? We have the Four of Swords, truce, and the Prince of Swords, so double air energy, right? Four Swords, truce, okay. Four of Wands, Four Swords. We're talking about judgment. We're talking about self-empowerment. Maybe you are coming to realize in yourself that you can't keep up this, I almost said charade, but it's not really a charade because it's who you are. It's not like you're putting on a front. It's who you genuinely are, right? So coming to terms with the fact that you need to change, perhaps. Putting in the effort, making the change, but also like a little bit of pettiness, a little bit of backlash, if you will. Okay, so maybe it's a little resilient to change. Ten of Cups, satiety, and the Tower. Okay, here's the thing. If you don't address this behavior, if you don't address the gossip, the tea, the not the judgment, but the critique, if you will. Okay, if you don't address it, you might have everything you want and things can be going great and you're going to lose it all. You will lose it all, right? Then we have the Emperor up top, Aries energy, in control, the dominant one, right? It's all up to you. It's all in your hands. What your outcome, whatever happens, is on you, okay? But watch that mouth, earth signs. Watch that fucking mouth. Again, I'm saying this to myself. I ain't stupid. I fucking know who I am. I'm not in denial of it. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not in denial of it either. So that's just something to think about. Something to remember. Keep in mind. Okay. Up top, we have the Seven of Discs, failure. The Prince of Wands, the Princess of Swords. Okay, so Seven of Discs being failure, like, yeah, that's a huge financial loss. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be. It can just be any kind of downfall. But when we talk about discs, we often do mean money. And when it comes to earth signs, it might be more within the self, but generally it's more about money. So if you're not having money problems, it might be more of a personal problem. But I'm seeing money issues, right? Prince of Wands and Princess of Swords being together here, not a good combo, right? We don't want a prince and a princess because they're both immature. They both have a lot of growing to do. They both have to work on themselves. We don't have a leader there. We have two wanderers, right? The Prince of Wands, he's working on the emotional stuff because he's very emotionally inept, very immature in that regard. The Princess of Swords needs to focus a little bit more. She needs to focus where she's putting that sword, where she's putting in her work, right? And not the back sass and the talk back and the such and such, right? We have the Wheel of Fortune, okay? Things turning in your favor. If we started with a failure and the Wheel of Fortune turns in the opposite direction of the way it's going, right? So it's a good thing. If we have the Ten of Discs up here and then we got the Wheel of Fortune, things would be turning out of our favor. But because we started with the Seven of Discs, the failure, it's turning in our favor. And right next to it is abundance, the Three of Cups, letting it flow, letting it grow, letting it glow, letting yourself glow, okay? Truly having enough, right? And then the Moon, manifest, okay? So don't focus too much on your losses. Don't focus too much on your flaws. I know this whole reading was sort of like about your flaws, right? Don't focus too much on it. Try to focus on what you are bringing to the table. Focus on what you want to see. Focus on what you want to become, right? I've had this thing lately where I see myself in my head. I see myself as this person in my head. And I just am constantly thinking, like, how do I make that my reality, right? Well, these are some of the steps. Knowing who you are, accepting who you are, putting in the effort to change before everything gets ruined, right? Doing it before there's consequences, right? And then also recognizing that there's issues, seeing your flaws and then fixing it. That's the biggest lesson in this reading right now. Let me pull some meditation cards. Seven of Wands, Valor. Six of Swords, Science. Eight of Discs, Prudence. 6, 7, 8. Okay, so, and Wands, Swords, and Discs. So fire, air, earth. Lots going on in this, but let's figure out a meditation. I can face anything so long as I face myself. I can face anything so long as I face myself. I like it. All right, let's see what's going on in the work life of Earth signs. Zaphon. I feel like I've seen him once before, but I really don't remember. Zaphon. Okay. Let's see about Zaphon. Okay. Zaphon is said to have been highly respected in heaven for his inventiveness. In fairness, the idea of setting heaven on fire was probably considered very novel, at least, but such a violent act would have been, by its very nature, destructive instead of inventive, if it had succeeded. It seems that Zaphon might have been better off giving more thought to the best way to express his support of the rebellion. Beware of being swept into a mob mentality, of taking disputes and protests to violent or disruptive actions. That's kind of crazy for the times we're in, and also I have not seen this demon before. I don't recognize that tale at all. So, very fitting. But when it comes to like work stuff, right? Like, if it's like, oh, we're all gonna quit, and you're like, well, I'm really good taken care of. I have benefits. I love my hours. This job rocks. Why are you all quitting? Don't do it. If it does not resonate with you, if that does not align with you, don't do it. If everyone has a problem with someone in the office, but you're cool with them, don't just go along and pretend like all of a sudden you got a problem with them when you know you don't. Okay, so don't succumb to peer pressure. All right, Taurus. Oh, special message for Taurus. This is for all Earth signs, but maybe particularly a message for Taurus. And maybe it was for myself, but either way, just be careful at work and not just going along with the crowd just because there's a crowd. Okay, so that's what I got for you, Earth signs. I will see you next week. All right, bye.